A very good morning to our esteemed guests on the dais and to our distinguished participants. On behalf of the Population Research Center, Institute of Economic Growth, I extend a very warm welcome to you all. We are all gathered here today to celebrate the World Population Day, a day that serves as an important reminder that the true understanding of the population warrants a much more nuanced and a deeper approach than merely confining the mankind to a few numbers. As the World Population Day theme of this year declares, we are in fact a world of 8 billion. But whether we are 8 billion too heavy or 8 billion strong is a question that we shall find answer to through the enlightening sessions to follow. But through it all, what we must remember is that good and bad are essentially the opposite ends of a continuum, and they do not describe the two halves of a line. With that thought, may I please request Professor Suresh Sharma, Head of Population Research Center, Institute of Economic Growth, to kindly welcome our revered guests and participants, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great honor and privilege to very warm welcome to Dr. Vivek Joshi, Registrar General, Census Commissioner of India, and Madam Sandhya Krishnamurthy, Deputy Director General, Ministry Health and Family Welfare, and Anjali Rawat, Deputy Director General, Ministry Health and Family Welfare, and Madam Andrea Bojnar, UNFPA Country Representative, India and Bhutan, and our Sri Sanjay ji, Additional Director General, Census Registrar, Government of India. And all the participants, very warm welcome on the occasion of Bird Population Day. The Bird Population Day is an annual event every year to raise the awareness of global population issues. The day is observed on 11th July. Since first the observed on the 11th July 1990, The observation of the Bird Population Day was established by United Nations Council governing United Nations Development Plan in 1989. The day was inspired by the public interest when bird population bird population reached 5 million on the day of 11th July 1987. The Bird Population Day aims to aware the general masses to various population issues like importance of family planning, gender equality, poverty, and maternal health and uh, human rights, etc. Every year, Population Research Center, Institute of Economics Growth celebrated Bird Population Day uh, jointly with the Indian Association of the Study of Population, IASP. IASP is the uh, professional demographers in India and public health scientists and development scientists. The IASP is the oldest association in the country and got registered in 1971 by the Institute of Economic Growth. The ISP, since its inception, ISP has been carrying the academic activity. So far, 42 annual conference organized by the IASP in the different part of country. And ISP also hosted international conferences. In one way back, IUSSP was held at New Delhi, and the Prime Minister of India is inaugurated this IUSSP conference, and around 1,200 delegates participated in this conference. Last year also, ISP also organized IUSSP conference in the month of December 2021, and around 450 countries participated in this conference by virtually due to pandemic restriction. So, touching upon the PRC brief history little bit, I am a extremely great honor to be a part of Professor B.K.R.B. Rao. Professor B.K.R.B. Rao is the founder of the Institute of Economic Growth, was a great visionary and institutional builder who had imaged the demography research in the India and development planning. Professor Rao interacted several times with the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and peeled the demography research on institutional base. Then after that, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare established the Population Research Center across the country with mandate of critical research output related to health and family welfare program and policies at the national and state level. And PRC also is the schemes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And so first scheme was established in Population Research Center in Delhi in 1957. Then Population Research Center Kerala in 1958. Then which is expanded on 18 PRC across the country. And last inclusion was Sagar PRC in 1999. Which of these 12 PRCs attached with the universities and 6 PRCs attached with the reputed research institute like Institute of Economic Growth. The PRC have expertise doing a large scale survey, and with the great good network of the state government for involving this HMIS or district ranking and evaluation of monitoring and evaluation, PIP, and flagship programs and assigned by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Then PRC also organized the national, international conferences and published the research article in the national international journals. The PRC also staged seminars and symposium when census data was released. This is the regular features, and PRC released seminars focused on socio-economic issues, whether it is interstate demography transitions or fertility mortality transitions. The field-oriented research, at PRC Delhi always contributed paradigm shifts on, policy formulation and population policy, And PRC also, Delhi, today, signed the MOU with setup of census data workstation. And PRC Delhi also, going to sign, Livasana for research methodology for IS batch 2020-21, So now, so I am very thankful to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for financial assistance for organizing this event. And I am also thankful to improving the PRC infrastructure by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And my special thanks to Madam Anjali Rawat and her team, improving the PRC's health. So kindly you clap her and her team, So once again, I would like to very warm welcome to our dignitary sitting on the dais and all the participants. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for a very thoughtful start to the sessions. Added to the list of the meritorious affiliates of IG is Professor Chetan Ghate, the Director of the Institute of Economic Growth. Testament to Sir's remarkable academic associations is his time at the Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi, where Professor Ghate has been a coveted professor of economics for over 18 years. Sir has been a part of many eminent committees for notable organizations like the World Bank, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, to name a few. Respected sir, I humbly request you to kindly come up here and say a few words, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshi, Mrs. Krishna Murthy, Anjali Rawat, Ms. Wonar, and Sanjay, distinguished guests, my colleagues sitting in the front and at the back, and Suresh. First, Suresh, congratulations on all your dynamism and the series of MOUs you've been signing with a variety of organizations and with your energy to put together the census workstation together. It plans to be a very important repository for research on population issues. And the macroeconomist in me excites me to see both population and growth on the same banner, because when I think about growth, I think about potential growth. And it's broken up in two terms, population growth and productivity growth. And as many Indian states begin to hit replacement levels of population, it's going to be crucial for growth to build up on the other side of total factor productivity. And it's not only population, but skilling and productivity that's also equally important. I thought, given the panel and given everybody's specialties on the panel, I would just want to spend a few minutes talking about one more theme. We've just come back from the Kautilya Economics Conclave, which was organized over the last 3 days, July 8 to 10, and one of the themes in that conference was economic resilience. Economic resilience is now becoming very important. You can think of resilience being the ability for economies to adjust to shocks, and you can think of robustness as the ability of economies to withstand shocks. And the policy implications for economies becoming more economically resilient is that they may have to accumulate buffers of all kinds in the kind of world we live in. So maybe now agricultural buffer stocks, which we always criticize as being too much and costly, may be required in a world of economic resilience. Maybe strategic oil reserves may be required in a world of resilience. So those are all exciting themes, and I, am excited as director of IG to, take research in terms of thinking about even the PRC's work and thinking about resilience. I just wanted to say a few words about the IG in case you are not familiar with it, with the history. It was established in 1958. Currently has a faculty of about 20 full-time faculty members and 3 postdocs. And these areas span from demography, sociology, macroeconomics, industrial organization, and several others. IAG's research falls into 9 broad themes: agriculture and rural development, environment and resource economics, globalization and trade, industry, labor and welfare, macro policy and modeling, population and development, which the PRC is crucial for, health policy, social change, and social structure. The Institute organizes regular training programs and is also the house for the induction training for the Indian Economic Service. So IAS probation inductees come and spend close to 4 months in the Institute for their first training before they get posted into their initial jobs. The Institute's faculty members supervise doctoral students from India and abroad. They are actively involved in policy input in the country at a variety of levels, engage with government, civil society, and international organizations. And IAG has hosted many renowned scholars in the past. Manmohan Singh was the president of IAG till August of 2021. Our new president is Mr. N.K. Singh, who also was very active in the Kautilya Economics Conclave, and Professor Ramesh Chand, who's an agriculture expert, is the chairman of the Institute of Economic Growth. So that's the management. So with that, I will just hand over the floor to Suresh and give you all a very warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I now request our valued participants to join with regardful exuberance for our next session as we gear to present tokens of respect to our honorable guests. I request our distinguished guests on the dais to please accept a potted plant as a symbol of our beautiful interconnectedness with Mother Nature. To the UNFPA country representative of India, Ms. Andrea Warner, ma'am. To Director IAG, Professor Chetan Ghate, sir. To the Director General, Madam, Srimati Sandhya Krishnamurthy ji from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. To the respected Deputy Director General from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ms. Anjali Rawat, Madam. To the Additional Registrar General of India, Shri Sanjay Kumar ji. I now humbly request Professor Chetan Ghate, sir, to present a memento to our honorable guests on the dais as an expression of our gratitude and admiration. To Wona, Madam, please. To the respected DG Madam from the MOHFW, Srimati Sandhya Krishnamurthy ji. To the respected DDG Madam from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Madam Anjali Rawat. To the esteemed Additional Registrar General of India, Sri Sanjay sir. I now request respected DDG Madam, Ms. Anjali Rawat ji, to please present a memento to our Director sir from the Institute of Economic Growth, Professor Chetan Ghate. And now to the head of Population Research Center, Professor Suresh Sharma, sir. I request Professor Suresh Sharma sir to please extend the memento presentation for our very valued guests from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, without whom this program today would truly have not been possible. To the Director sir from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, respected Kumar Sundaram sir. To the Assistant Director at the MOHFW, respected Preeti ma'am. And finally, from the MOHFW, Ms. Deepshika Arora madam and Mr. Rajiv Ahuja sir, please. As an embodiment of deep coherence and the inevitable synchronicity of creation and transformation, I request DDG Madam Srimati Anjali Rawat ji to please present to our honorable guests a Natraj sculpture, please. Let's please have it once again for Madam Warner. Respected Madam DG, Srimati Sandhya Krishnamurthy ji. And to the Honorable Additional Registrar General of India, Sri Sanjay sir, please. May I request Anjali ma'am to please accept this token from Professor Suresh Sharma sir. Thank you very much. The Indian Association for the Study of Population is one of the oldest associations in India specific to the domain of demography and social sciences. It publishes a journal routinely by the name of Demography India. The 50th issue of the said journal was a special issue with a collection of research work done by PRC's Pan India. I request the honorable guests on the dais to please release the PRC special issue of the Demography India Journal, which highlights contemporary development challenges and progress made in the domain of public health and family welfare. Thank you very much. I would now humbly request respected DG Madam Srimati Sandhya Krishnamurthy ji to please share with us a few words of enlightenment. I would very briefly like to mention here that Madam's vision in enabling the PRCs to deliver on key policy health issues has been remarkable, and for that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Madam.
A very good morning to all dignitaries on the dais. Um, Director Chetan from IAG, Ms. Andrea from UNFPA, additional DG from RJ, Sanjay, and Professor Suresh from PRC, Anjali Rawat, DDG from MOHW, and dignitaries from the international agencies, UNFPA, and Population Council of India, and Professor Arvind Pandey, and other dignitaries assembled here. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here for this today's program. The most startling fact about the World Population Day is the landmark figure that we as a human can race has hit. We are officially a world of 8 billion. It is exactly 10 years later that another billion has been added to this planet. May I remind that it took hundreds of thousands of years for the world population to grow to 1 billion. Then it is another 200 years to grow. It grows sevenfold. In 2011, the global population reached 7 billion mark, and it's expected to grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030. World Population Day was first observed in 1889 by the initiative of Governing Council of UNDP. The UNDP Governing Council took a decision to observe World Population Day after seeing the number of population in 1987, and as it crossed the 5 billion mark, and that was a worrying situation for the entire world. World Population Day is celebrated to spread across the awareness about exploding world population and the importance of reproductivity health. The main goal of celebrating World Population Day is to control the increasing population of the world. This year, we are celebrating World Population Day 2022 under the theme, A Work of 8 Billion, towards a resilient future for all, harnessing opportunity and ensuring rights and choice for all. The mega trends have been far-reaching implications. The effect of economic development, employment, income distribution, poverty, and social protections. They also affect efforts to ensure universal access to healthcare, education, housing, sanitation, water, food, and energy. To more sustainably address the needs of individuals, policymakers must understand that how many people are living on the planet, where they are, how old they are, and how many people will come after them. World Population Day, as the UNDP initiative, is one of those days that bring forth the value of our interconnectedness. Any population issue one could primarily think of as a development issue, an environmental issue, an economic issue, a social issue, and so on. And naturally, a solution of all these issues must always entail in a holistic approach. We are all gathered here today to celebrate this day by reminding ourselves that we might be only a small entity in the whole universe, in the whopping 8 billion, but part that each one of us can play in ensuring a sustainable growth, improved accountability to our planet and nature is not too huge. In hindsight, population, particularly in numbers, has only been viewed from a lens of a challenge. However, today we have that many astonishing rewards technology to our advantage. Countries around the world are earmarking improved life expectancy, lower maternal and child mortality rates. The key takeaway for moving forward is to ensure that one must move along with inclusive opportunities for health, education, and work, along with gender equality, along with human rights, and essentially with the other 8 billion. I am also too happy to share with you all that the Census Workstation has been inaugurated in the Population Research Center of the Institute. This will enable the young and brilliant researchers and policymakers in understanding population beyond numbers. I remain hopeful that many of new avenues of research will open us with access to the census micro-level data. The report of NFHS 5 2019-21 reveals that India's totality fertility rate has declined from 2.2 to 2, indicating significant progress in population control measures. The primary aim of World Population Day is to create awareness about reproduction-related issues. It empowers the youth by making them aware of sex education and many more things. On this occasion of World Population Day 2022, let us promise to take necessary steps to control the population on our end. With these few words, I thank one and all for participating and making this as a good event. Great, thank you all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It is indeed a beautiful takeaway that we must move forward from this celebration and this day on with a sense of responsibility and with a sense of improving the entirety of the 8 billion that we are sharing this planet with. Moving on for the next session, we are fortunate to have with us here today the UNFPA India representative, Ms. Andrea Warner, Madam. Madam Warner has been at the forefront of many developmental and humanitarian programs focusing on women and adolescent health. Madam is a strong advocate of ensuring rights and choices for all. In this series, and I would say a much celebrated series of the noteworthy work ma'am has headed and conducted, my personal favorite and most inspiring remains the rather recent UNFPA Shakti initiative in Odisha, where as part of the program, over 2.5 lakh women would be trained as champions of sexual, reproductive, and social rights of women to address gender-based violence and regressive social norms. In these times today, it comes as a very, very welcome public initiative, and it is truly touching to see UNFPA really working in these areas. Respected Madam, it is a matter of unbounded pride and honor for IEG, really, to have you with us here today and to be inspired from your selfless service towards a healthier India and a healthier world at large. May I please request you to deliver the keynote address today, please.
Namaskar, and very warm greetings, and a very good morning to you all. There's so much passion in this room, and I've been to many population institutes in my 37 years of working in this area, but I haven't ever seen such excitement and enthusiasm around the topic. So it also gives me a lot of energy. Registrar General, Commissioner of India, Vivek Joshi, Mr. Sanjay, Additional Registrar General, Professor Suresh Sharma, Head of the PRC, Professor Chetan Gahi, I'm not sure I pronounced correctly, Director of this Institute for Economic Growth, Sandhya Krishnamurti. I think you could have delivered my speech or I yours. Frankly, we're so much aligned. We're like partners in crime here. And Anjali Ramati, Deputy Director of Ministry of Health and Welfare Statistics Division, and our Director. It's really my great pleasure to give this keynote address on the occasion of World Population Day 2022 at the Institute of Economic Growth, which I have also seen houses a very respected population research center. But more importantly, it's exciting to see the linkages with the two. because it's really not enough to talk about population on its own, and it's not enough to talk about economic growth on its own, because behind the economic growth are people and the quality of that human capital, whether it's productivity or equality or really making the best of what this country has to offer itself. So I'm very inspired, and I look forward to additional partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, the world's population will reach 8 billion in November. I wish you had something to clock at the front of your institute also, because that would be very exciting to see. But this milestone is a milestone for celebration. Across the globe, poverty has been reduced and incredible advancements in healthcare have been achieved. Infant and maternal mortality have declined, and people are living longer and healthier lives. India has been a global leader in contributing to that success. And the world looks to India to continue to be a global leader on the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda. Because if India succeeds, the world succeeds. That's a big responsibility on your shoulders. World Population Day is also a moment of reflection, a time for all countries to take stock and drive action, regardless of the direction of their population growth. Demographic change is one of the 5 megatrends identified by the UN Secretary General, along with climate change, urbanization, technological innovation, and inequalities that are shaping progress, or lack thereof, towards achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. India today is facing 5 major population trends. The country has reached the fertility level of 2.0, we've heard, and from here on has an opportunity to carve out a new path forward as population stabilizes. 2, India is a young country aiming to reap the demographic dividend for which there is limited time. 3, India is also simultaneously graying in some of the southern and western states. 4, India's girls are surging forward as gender equality progresses, with more girls in school and studying longer and marrying later. And 5, urbanization, migration, natural disasters, and climate change are all impacting and complicating population dynamics. Out of all of these trends, I would like to focus on the one that excites me and inspires me the most. It's what I call India's gem, hidden in plain sight. India's girls. I saw a big smile over here, I like that. We at UNFPA recognize that girls and young women lie at the very core of any developing country's progress. In fact, in India, 1 in 10 is a young girl, a formidable force of 120 million. So who is this young Indian girl? And what does she face on a daily basis? Now imagine a young girl, age 15, who's forced out of school against her wishes, married at 16 before she fully develops and reaches adulthood, and gives birth to children at 17 and 18 under constant pressure by her family and community to prove her fertility, often in poor health and sometimes facing gender-based violence and discrimination. These are just some of the harsh realities that many young girls still face. With the largest number of young girls in the world, anywhere in the world, 120 million is not just a number. It denotes also 120 million opportunities out there to be harnessed. It's therefore imperative to prioritize investments in this untapped resource in order to achieve the higher economic growth and increased national income that India so desires. This is especially important as India moves towards a $5 trillion economy. But it's also crucial to have a clear strategy for how the country will move forward in empowering this unharnessed human capital of this cohort of young girls. It would be unwise and unfair to ignore the positive advancements made in Indian education, health, and nutrition outcomes for young people. But it's also a reality that one of the most critical aspects for any nation's social development, India included, is the sexual and reproductive health needs of its girls. And this needs greater attention and investment in India. By prioritizing sexual and reproductive health needs of young girls, India, which is at the cusp of a demographic dividend, can further benefit from what the Lancet Commission has defined as a triple dividend for adolescents now, today, for their future adult lives, and for their children. So I'd like to congratulate the efforts by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in pushing the needle in the right direction. And this translates into very positive data. Let me share with you a few of those heartening figures. Between National Health Family Survey 4 and 5, an estimated additional 2.6 million young couples aged 15 to 24 reported using a modern family planning method. About 70% of the 2.6 million new users reported use of condoms, an indication of male participation and interspousal communication to avoid unintended pregnancies. The unmet need for contraceptives has also decreased from 22 to 17%, indicating an increase in availability, access, and uptake of family planning. Teen pregnancy has reduced from 8 to 6.8%. And finally, the use of hygienic methods of protection by young girls during menstruation has increased substantially from 58% to 78% in the last 5 years. These very positive strides have been the resultant effect of national programs that have put a much-needed spotlight on the reproductive health of youth, such as the adolescent-friendly health services under Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, the National Adolescent Health Program, the Mission Parivar Vikas program, and increasing access to comprehensive and correct reproductive health information through the School Health and Wellness Program. So congratulations, madam, to you. At the same time, there are also gaps that need renewed attention and focus. The National Family Health Survey 5 shows that 1 in 4 girls is still married before the age of 18, and married adolescent girls have an extremely low level of autonomy. Only 17% are able to take decisions about their own sexual and reproductive health, or even jointly with their partner. 17%. The risk of an adolescent girl dying in childbirth is twice that of a woman in her 20s. So what more needs to be done? There are numerous evidence-based interventions waiting to be grasped and brought to scale in India. I would like to leave you with 6 key practices for your consideration. Number 1, investment in family planning leads to economic gains. A study conducted by your very own Institute of Economic Growth and the Population Foundation of India in 2018 indicated that the country can enjoy an additional per capita income of 13% if appropriate investments in family planning are made in the next 15 years. 13% is a pretty good return on investment. Investments to expand school education to include adequate information and build greater understanding of reproductive health issues leads to delayed sexual debut. And we know that from a study of 82 countries in the world. When comprehensive sexuality education is provided according to the international standards, in no case has the age of sexual debut ever decreased. It has always remained the same or been delayed. I think the data speaks for itself. This means fewer unwanted pregnancies and reduced sexually transmitted diseases amongst school-age youth. Number 3, invest in delaying the age of marriage of girls to 18 years. Interventions to prevent child marriage have a high average benefit cost ratio. For every rupee invested, the return is 16.8 times. Again, there's not many of your bank accounts that are going to give you that big of a return on investment. This is a very good one. India could save $5 billion, or the equivalent of 33.5 crore, in healthcare and related costs if it eliminates child marriage and early childbirth. For perspective, this is the equivalent of the country's 2017-2018 higher education budget. Seems worthwhile to me. 4, delay the age at which the first child is born and avoid childbirth in quick succession. A study by the University of Sussex in India revealed that children of women who marry later are more likely to complete their required vaccinations, have a higher weight for height, and are more likely to enroll at school and attain better grades. Again, seems like a no-brainer to me. 5, promote peers, youth voices, and participation. Use and strengthen adolescents and youth networks and facilitate their engagement with digital technology platforms such as chatbots and helplines, which show great potential in sexual and reproductive health programming and policy formulation. And finally, integrate contraceptive services with other health services to grasp the opportune moment when young women are in contact with health facilities for post-pregnancy or post-abortion family planning. Or this needs to be in day-to-day health services, but it also needs to be in times of crisis. So whether it's the pandemic that keeps people at home, whether it's floods that displace people, it needs to be available at all times. As the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, UNFPA advocates for a world where every girl and woman should have the right to take her own decisions about her sexual and reproductive health. I cannot underscore enough that sustainable development can only be achieved if young girls and women have autonomy over their bodies. More empowered, more responsible, and healthier female populations are the greatest contributors to long-lasting social and economic change. So to end, I borrow a quote from United Nations Fund for Population Executive Director Natalia Kanem, who said on the eve of this World Population Day, "Focusing exclusively on population totals and growth rates misses the point, and often leads to coercive and counterproductive measures and the erosion of human rights. In fact, people are the solution, not the problem. Experience shows that investing in people, in their rights and choices, is the path to peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable societies." Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Indian Association, for the study of population. Namaskar, Dhanyawad.
Thank you very much, Madam Warner, for the very enlightening keynote address. And we would indeed remember that leveraging on women empowerment is a key to making the world a better place. Thank you so much for that rather beautiful thought. With the dais this celebrated, coveted, and truly brilliant, closing the session with a vote of thanks becomes rather overwhelming. I, on behalf of the Population Research Center, Institute of Economic Growth, extend my most sincere gratitude to the distinguished guests on the dais. Shri Vivek Joshi Sir, Registrar General of India, in whose coveted presence the Institute inaugurated the Census Data Workstation, a unit which shall indeed be an asset for researchers from all kinds of domains. My utmost gratitude to Ms. Andrea Warner, Madam, for the truly insightful keynote address. Thank you, Madam Sandhya Krishnamurthy ji, Director General, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, for enabling this event and largely this PRC. Madam Anjali Rawat ji, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. There are no words which could rightly suffice the amount of gratitude each one of us at PRC Delhi hold for your tireless efforts in building and strengthening the network of PRCs and its people. Thank you, ma'am. To Professor Chetan Ghate sir, whose words, as few as they might be, never ever fail to hit the mark. Thank you, sir, for your extended cooperation in making this event possible. My utmost gratitude and regards go for the Additional Registrar General of India, Sri Sanjay Kumar sir, for his esteemed presence here today. We are thankful to you, sir. My most sincere gratitude again goes for Dr. Suresh Sharma, Head of PRC Delhi, whose mission, vision, and leadership in giving population issues a platform like this is indeed exemplary. Thank you, sir, for all of your commitment to the discipline of the demography and to the cause of it. To our prized participants and distinguished guests here today, thank you for your valued time, and thank you so much for being with us here today. Last but not the least, I extend my most special thanks to the administration of IEG, the IT and central office staff members, the support staff members, and my very, very dearest, the PRC family. Thank you so much, everybody, in making this event a great success. I request all of the participants and the distinguished guests to please join for high tea in the lawn outside.